cross border, crime detection, and somebody commits a crime in one part, and then he goes on to another part, and he crosses into another state, and then it's always been one thing people point to, the tendency of some people to say, look, this is our own. In fact, we hear jokes of people saying, this is our own criminal, so we can keep our criminals, you keep yours.
Now, for those who do not want the regulation of policing, they have come up with all kinds of arguments. But as I keep saying, if you do not try it, you won't know it. And fortunately for Nigeria, the man at the helm of affairs now at the federal level, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, happens to be somebody who had experimented with deregulation of policing without making any loud noise about it when he set up the Lagos Neighborhood Watch, which has now transformed into the Lagos State Security Corps, a more fanciful label. Now, it's all about wanting to give support for the purpose of making life more livable. There should really be no problem with that boundary thing. And that's why the point you have made was one thing that informed the small criticism that some of us had when the Amotekun thing became insane with late Akeredolu leading the way. They started off wanting to call it Southwestern Nigeria, whatever. I said, you cannot do trans-territorial organization, no. Oyo State Amotekun, Ondo State Amotekun. That will not necessarily stop cooperation. If you say this criminal is your criminal, and then the man from Ogun chasing him into your territory should bugger off, well, you are empowering him, you are encouraging him. When he has finished dealing with his opponent in Ogun, he will still come for you. But all of these things are just arguments people want to use to see if they can stop the thing. It's necessary. Truth be told, the number of personnel of the Nigeria Police Force now cannot do the job. And there is no chance that it will ever be increased exponentially to make everybody comfortable. And if the states have found these other approaches to to solving the problem, why not formalize it? That's all that the Bola Tinubu government is pushing for. And by the way, this goes also with this local government autonomy thing that the federal government under President Tinubu is pushing. Because increasingly now Nigerians are being made to take your eyes off that far distance of Abuja, look a little down, and then hold government accountable at lower levels. The same thing by the time the state police thing kicks off, you are better able now to say, wait a minute, in the past you were talking about giving support. Now it is your own. If today the thing is finally sorted out and it is put in the constitution that states can own police, Lagos is already ahead of the others in terms of everything. But those who already have Amotekun can also transform before. The any police thing, as I've said in the first chapter of my book, was just borrowing, adapting what the colonialists made in the palaces of kings. Because everywhere there was centralized authority with identifiable authority structure, you had people in the palaces doing the job of police. So it's not a big deal. And part of the confusion and why this thing is so still very emotive, many Nigerians think that the idea of policing came to us through colonial rule. As I've said, in pre-colonial times, you had people doing the job of police in the palaces. And that's why it wasn't difficult to adapt and allow the transformation from palace officials to stipendiary officers of government. So the state policing, there's no big deal about it. And what is going to eventually happen? Best practices. What state will realize that we are lagging behind? Can we say that the Amotekun thing, because that's the most topical, current, even now, Is it the same thing? Is it the same approach in all of the southwest states? When Lagos was like lukewarm, people didn't quite know what was going on, but criticizing Lagos. Lagos